My dear students, today's topic is Hardy-Wingber principle. This topic is a bit tough for you all. I hope you will understand the way I'm going to explain this topic. This topic is very important in this chapter because every year at least you can find out one single question or a 1 mark question is there from this topic. So go through it till the end of the video and try to understand how I have explained the topic. Now, according to this theory, Hardy and Wingber, these two professors, they explain that in an isolated geographical area where there some organisms are surviving, these organisms they never come out from this geographical area and neither they allow any other organism to enter here. That means there is no exchange of gene or no exchange of DNA from other population in this geographical area to the population already surviving here. So it is quite impossible in the actual scenario. It is just a theoretical model. But if this happens, then what will happen? In this case, the total number of genes present in this geographical area will remain constant from generation after generation. Means throughout the generations, there will be no exchange of gene from other population and the gene already present in that population will be constant or will be same. So that is what Hardy-Wingber principle mean. For example, suppose the islands, North Sentinel Island in Andaman and Nicobar Island. Just I am giving an example, abstract example. All of you know that this is an entire isolated island where the Indian government has not given permission to enter in this island to anybody because the tribals, the Sentinel tribals living in this area are very conservative and they defend themselves by throwing arrows at the unknown intruders, those who try to enter this island. So see, we don't know from how many years back they have evolved in this island, but they do not allow any population to enter here and neither they come out from this island ever. So the gene population, the gene total number of gene or the gene pool in this island, in this group of tribes are constant. So we can just take an example in this case. Now Hardy and Wingber, these two professors, they also mentioned that there are 5 factors, just 5 factors that may change the principle that they are putting forward. So what does it mean? That means the way he describes that the total gene pool or the gene frequency will be same in a population in an isolated geographical area if there is no gene flow or if there is no exchange of the gene from other populations. But this may change or his principle, their principles that they have put forward will be affected by 5 factors. So the 5 factors that can affect and change the principle that they are putting forward. So what are the 5 factors? Let me describe. So before explaining the 5 factors, let me tell the 5 factors and then I will explain each one by one. So the 5 factors are gene migration or gene flow. Second is genetic drift. Third is mutation. Fourth is genetic recombination. And fifth is natural selection. Now let me tell what is gene migration or gene flow. Here I am going to explain with an example. Suppose there are 2 separate geographical area or 2 different populations. Might be separated by a mountain or a river that you have already read in class 10. I hope you remember. So when these 2 population of organisms are living separately in these 2 areas, suddenly one very adventurous organism from population A start moving to population B. And thereafter, what this population A organism is doing? It is exchanging its own DNA and gene to the other population B where it is moving. So what is happening eventually? This organism, that is suppose A1 from population A, is moving to population B and it is introducing its own DNA or the genetic material which it is possessing to the population B, and thereafter generation after generation this population B will have some changes because of this organism A1, and hence there will be a large number of population A organisms will be evolved here in population B. So this is gene migration or gene flow. So I hope you understood. So when individual from one population migrate to another population, they will add up their own gene and they will just add up new population to this group or the new group. Okay, so they are changing the frequency of the gene in the old population by introducing their own gene. Hope you understood this topic of gene flow or gene migration. Next factor, that is genetic drift. Now many times you read this topic, you are very confused, isn't it? So you find out difficult to understand what is genetic drift actually. Now I am going to explain it very in simple language. So what happens, see, suppose an organism, suppose E1, it is moving to a new geographical area. Might be this organism is fed up with these problems around him or her, and it thinks that it is well that I should just go and settle down somewhere else. Many times it happens nowadays that many people, they think that I am just fed up with the society, I am fed up with this environment, let me settle down somewhere else. So like that some organism is going somewhere and settling down. So what is this organism doing? It is over time living in this area and it is introducing its own gene here and it is creating a new species. How? Because generation after generation, when this organism is breeding, maybe breeding with some other organisms, and in this case the old gene that it was possessing is faded. Faded means it is lost, means gradually the old characteristics or the traits is faded away and some new species is formed in this area where it came and settled down. So this effect is called founder effect. So what is founder? Founder means the old gene or the old traits, they have been faded away and some new effects are found, and this is founder effect. So the original drifted population that has been drifted is called the founder. Hope you understood now. For example, I am giving an example here. Suppose an organism, might be any organism XYZ, it is moving from India, suppose to Mauritius, and surviving there in Mauritius for 20 generations, generation after generation. So you see eventually after many years this organism that has migrated to Mauritius will be evolved into a new species and its old traits will be faded away. So this is what is known as founder effect. So next point is mutation. I hope you have learned about mutation. If you have not learned, so please learn and then you try to understand this topic. So mutation is the sudden abrupt change in the gene or the chromosome, isn't it? So might be a number of the chromosome may change or there is a alteration in the gene. So in these cases, if mutation takes place, then the Hardy-Weinberg principle will not be maintained. That is what Hardy-Weinberg has said, that gene frequency will be constant. But in case of mutation, there is no questions of being the gene frequency being constant, because in this case the gene frequency is going to be changed as mutation has taken place. So phenotypic or genotypic changes will occur over few generations and as a result there will be speciation. Hope you understood about mutation. So mutation will also affect the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. So the constant population will not be maintained in case if there is a mutation in the population. Next point is genetic recombination. Now you see, you have learnt about crossing over and linkage. Now what is linkage? In case of linkage, you know, the total linked gene or the linked group, they come as it is, isn't it? They never undergo crossing over. isn't it? So there is no crossing over in case of linked gene or linkage. But if there is recombination during gametogenesis, there is recombination or variation takes place. Okay, in these cases, if in the case of recombination during gametogenesis takes place, there is no linkage, there will be a crossing over taking place. In that case, Hardy-Wingberg principle will be affected and genetic equilibrium is not maintained. Now next point is number 5, natural selection. You already know about natural selection. In the previous video I have discussed about natural selection which was put forward by Charles Darwin. So Charles Darwin says that nature, it selects the fittest organism and discard the unfit organism. So here heritable variation that enable the fittest organism will survive and they will thereafter increase their number of progeny. So this natural selection can have 3 following effects. So natural selection may also affect the Hardy-Wingberg principle. So what are these 3 factors of natural selection that affect Hardy-Wingberg principle? They are stabilization, next is directional change, and third is disruption. So in case of stabilization, large number of individuals, they will acquire mean character value. And so if we plot a graph between the time and the number of individual with a particular phenotype, so you will see that in stabilization group, the peak value, it will get higher and narrower. But in case of directional change, if we plot a graph between trait and the number of individual of the phenotype, the large number of individual acquire value other than the mean character value. As a result, the peak will shift to one direction. So that is why it's called directional change. And in case of disruption, what will happen? When large number of individuals acquire peripheral character values. So here, both ends of the disruption curve will take place and hence there will be 2 peaks formed. So these are the 5 factors that are going to affect the Hardy-Wingberg principles, and thus Hardy-Wingberg principle will not be maintained. So finally, the expressions that Hardy and Wingberg, they both have put forward to make us understand about their principle. So here they have explained that in case of the population where homozygous dominant, homozygous recessive and heterozygous organisms are there, so they will be always constant in number in case it is always a stabilizing population. So where p square plus 2pq plus q square is equal to 1. Here p square means the homozygous dominant, q square means the homozygous recessive, and the 2pq is the heterozygous organism. So when you are getting the values of any two of the organism like p square and q square, you can find out 2pq. Same way, if you are getting the value of p square and 2pq, you are finding the value of q square. So you can just put the value and find out and solve the equation. So it is very simple, so you can do it. So this was all about Hardy-Wingberg principle and what are the factors, 5 factors that are going to affect the Hardy-Wingberg principle and the expression. So hope you understood the video and you have gone through the entire video till the end. If you have any type of query, do comment me, and please do like it if you have liked the video and the content, and do share it with your friends. And finally, please don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching.